648 at KMJ. U.S. Senate candidate Chuck DeVore joins us now. And we're going to talk polling and immigration, and we got the time, maybe a little water. Chuck, how are you?
Doing well this morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Glad to have you here. Listen, in this race, all of a sudden, the big kingpin issue seems to be illegal immigration. And, the other two, they're trying to be the king and the queen of illegal immigration. How do you genuinely differ from them on that issue?
I think the way I genuinely differ is an issue of consistency. Carly Fiorina is kind of a latecomer to this. She was a chief economic advisor to John McCain, and so as a result, fell in behind his policy of amnesty back when he was pushing that issue. And for me, for example, when Arizona simply recapitulated federal law and said we're going to start enforcing law that's actually already on the books, I immediately backed the Arizona law, whereas Carly Fiorina in her first interview said that, I think that this law came about because of racist overtones. Eventually, she embraced the law. Now, during our debate on May 6th, I repeatedly said that I was the only one of the three of us who has consistently rejected amnesty. And it was very interesting because there was a direct question from one of the journalists asking Carly Fiorina, what would you do with the people already here? And after having decried professional politicians 3 times in a row, she didn't answer the question. She kind of beat around the bush, and I said, there you go. She may decry being a professional politician, but she certainly is acting like one because she didn't answer the question. And we actually got both of my opponents during the debate, to actually say that they were opposed to amnesty. Well, this, I think, was a revelation because this had not yet really come out from the other 2 campaigns. So I think that now there is no difference. Now you're hearing the same thing. The issue is, whom do you trust? The individual who's been very consistent on this issue over the last few years, or individuals who may be having a battlefield conversion to a very popular issue.
Now, how do you react to polling that has you behind the other 2?
I don't really pay a heck of a lot of attention to it because the polls up to this point, except for one poll, have not used the proper ballot title. We may have a new round of polling this week. There was one poll only that has actually used the correct ballot titles, where they call me an assemblyman, military reservist, Tom Campbell an economist, business educator, and Carly Fiorina a business executive. Prior to that, the polling outfits weren't even using the correct ballot titles. Now, this matters tremendously in my case because the military reservist ballot title means a lot to people. And so the only poll that's been taken with the correct titles had Tom Campbell at 31%, Carly Fiorina at 17%, and me at 14%. And that was a poll taken about 4 weeks ago. And obviously the difference between 17 and 14 is pretty minuscule. In fact, that's within the margin of error in between Carly Fiorina and myself. Pardon me. So I'm expecting that we're going to start climbing up in the polls as people begin to pay attention. And in addition, you've seen these matchup polls between me and Barbara Boxer, Campbell and Barbara Boxer, Fiorina and Barbara Boxer. And for the last couple of months, I've actually been polling better against Barbara Boxer than has Carly Fiorina, although we've all been, again, within the margin of error.
Can we talk water for a little bit?
Absolutely.
Just for a second here, because I don't have a lot of time. I got about 30 seconds, actually. This area is just going through a huge water war. How much you know about what we're going through here with our pump situation and the battle that we're going through with the Secretary of the Interior? And what would you do? What would your position be on our battle with the pumps and what we're going through? And Senator Boxer absolutely needs to go so we can get something done on the federal level to get the water flowing.
Let me tell you, I absolutely would have backed Senator Jim DeMint's amendment several months ago that would have provided for a one-time, one-year, narrowly drawn exemption to the Endangered Species Act so we can get the pumps turned back on. Now, only 37 people voted with him with that. Olympia Snow voted against it, and Lamar Alexander voted against it, and of course all the Democrats did. Senator Jim DeMint is one of my most important endorsers. He understands that the water issue in California is actually a food security issue for the entire country because most of America's fresh fruits and vegetables comes from the Central Valley. This isn't just a California issue. This is an American issue.
Yeah, he gets it.
Pumps turned back on.
He gets it. All right, Chuck, I got to let you go, but thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Chuck DeVore on KMJ, U.S. Senate candidate.